Brothers and sisters, may the peace that can only come from the one God be upon you. We are here to tell the people that we hear you. One God will not allow us as people of conscience to lose our morale.
Powered by our patrons. As you call that, radio, TV, we're early today. We've got the legend Dave McLean live from Thailand. That's why. So there's a bit of a time difference, so we're going to go live to Thailand in a little second to speak to Dave McLean. I watched this film of his last night. Schemers! I watched it last night, really enjoyed it. About the early years of him becoming a music promoter in Dundee. It's available this week on Amazon, iTunes and stuff like that, so go and check that out. I've also got live today, thanks to Steg G for giving me the t-shirt for his, this is from his new album, Live Today, which will be out in February, and I thought I might as well stick it on today because we're doing not one, not two, but maybe even 3 live shows today. Because at 7 o'clock, we are welcoming an absolute legend of the movie scene, Alba Enid Garcia Rivas, who I've been a fan of her work since Celebrity Deathmatch, you might remember. She's a stop-motion animator, a sculptor, qualified for an Oscar. She's made her 4th personal film that is coming out. Who's phoning me at this time? No. That might be our 5 o'clock guest as well, because we might have a 5 o'clock guest as well. They are having to speak to their manager to make sure it's okay. They want to speak to us on You Call That Radio, an exclusive at 5 o'clock, but they need to get the okay from their management. I'll message him back in a wee minute. So, we've got Alba at 7 o'clock live from New York. And now I believe we can go live to Thailand, where I believe David is there. Are you there, man?
Yep, we're here, man. Superb.
Good stuff, mate. Thank you very much for taking the time to speak to us all the way from Thailand as well. That's quite exciting, isn't it?
Well, yeah, it is exciting, actually. Yeah, it's 9 o'clock here, so I've just had dinner, so everything's good. So we're all happy. Like, it's good. Very good, yeah.
Brilliant
and
stuff,
I just watched all your intro stuff there with you. I watched a few of your shows today just to see what you're all about, like, you know. And I kind of really love all the madcap stuff you put into the videos and the intros and the music. It's really, really good. It's very impressive. I really like it. So
I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
No, it's really, really impressive.
We've been doing this since lockdown began now. So it's about 200 odd shows we've done, and it means a lot that you've taken the time to chat with us, because I'm a massive fan of obviously Placebo, who you've been managing for like 25 years, is it now?
Yeah, ridiculous. I mean, it's ludicrous. 25 years. Can't believe it's still going, and a new album coming out is the best they've ever done. So that's great.
Yeah, well,
that's
great. Do you know, Placebo was one of those bands, because obviously when they were hitting their stride, I was about, that age 14 to 18 when you just get so into music, and that kind of music stays with you your whole life. The music you get into then.
Yeah,
you've got about 20 favourite bands. And Placebo, I think that their music's just aged so well compared to some of the other bands that were my favourite at that time, if that makes sense.
Well, it makes loads of sense, because like the band, every time they go in to do an album, like loads of bands go in and they try to follow a trend, and it's like, oh, what's big at this moment in time? We'll follow that. But they never really listen to any other music. They just do what they like. And I think it's good to be original. And this new album is like absolutely off the scale. I'll predict now, you could go down to Ladbrokes if they still exist, or William Hill if they still exist, or it's just Betfred now or whatever. And you could put a bet on Placebo's new album will be number 1 in minimum 25 countries. And you'll get good odds on that, So it's good.
Well, let's put it on. Well, obviously you can't go into the bookies, not in Scotland anyway. But
you can't. You can't. Yeah.
You can go. You can't go in anywhere, but you can go on the internet. On the internet, I think that Ladbrokes, the bookies always find a way. They always seem to do all right, no matter what situation. So I think that they'll be
well,
all right.
That's my tip. That's my tip. And it's my tip for a Mercury Music Prize as well. Just get on it all over the place. I mean, I've managed them 25 years, and I got the album last week. Well, no, but maybe 3 weeks ago. Brilliant. So I'm very lucky in that. It's the gift that keeps giving. So I'm happy there, like, you know.
Brilliant stuff. Well, if they need any promo, then Brian Molko and the rest of the guys are always welcome on You Call That Radio. It would be great to chat to them if that would be possible.
Well,
I
just got a message from Brian about two minutes ago about tweeting support for the movie, so that's good. So yeah, so
brilliant, man. Good stuff. Well, we'll go back to Placebo in a little bit because they're one of my favourite bands. But we're here to talk about Schemers mainly because watched the film last night for the first time, man, and really loved it. I think there's something there for everyone. It's good to see it's good to see a film filmed in Dundee. Good to see Scottish actors, and there's some comedy in there. There's some romance in there, and of course, from a promoter's point of view, I'm a promoter, so I'm sure anyone who's a promoter that watches it will also get that sweaty hand syndrome that you get. It's almost like a horror movie if you've been a promoter before.
Oh, exactly, yeah. What gigs have you promoted? What sort of stuff have you done?
So I started off, just my own band's called Gyro Babies. We started off using, like, the first gig we had a middleman promoter, and very quickly I did the numbers and went, wait a minute, I spoke to the guy, it was at Ivory Blacks, I spoke to Kelvin who runs Ivory Blacks, and I was like, how much is it just to hire the place? And I did the maths and I went, right, from now on, I'm doing my own gigs from now on. So we do all our own gigs, book our own tours, and also from that, you know, booking, or I've booked my own festival, or running stages at festivals as well and stuff like that. So I've been pretty much really involved in the live music scene for the last 10 or so years, man. So obviously when lockdown happened, I was aware that everything that I'd worked for was up in flames. So I had to think out the box, and this is the box. Well, inside the box.
It's a good box. It's a good box, yeah. It's a good box, yeah. Well done.
I'm grateful to have a box.
Well, as long as it's not the 6 foot box, you know, yeah.
Yeah, aye.
But it's like you say about being a promoter. You summed it up perfectly. You know, when you start promoting gigs, you think, that club holds 500, so 500 times £6, that's £3,000. I'll get £3,000. And then if you do a venue, it holds 2,000. It's 2,000 times £15. I'll get £30,000. Then if you do like 5,000 times £40, you'll get £200,000. But then you actually forget, what if you don't sell out? You know, what if you actually only do 70%? You're losing money all the time. You know what I mean? So it's a real sweaty palm thing. You know, it's like, oh fucking hell, what's going to happen here? Are we going to get people, or how's it all going to turn out? And you watch for the there used to be a thing in the old days called the walk up. You don't get a walk up now. It's all like advanced tickets. But you used to think, oh, we'll do a good walk up on the night, though. You know. Then if it rains, you'd go, oh shit, you know, it's raining, nobody's going to come. So it is really living on the edge
or
of
if it's
the seat.
too sunny. That's the other thing. If it's too sunny, then people are going to be in the park and they just stay in the park, or they sit in their mates' back gardens.
Then, yeah, you need a kind of overcast night where there's not much happening. Then you might get a
little bit of a drizzle, a wee drizzle,
slight drizzle, lemon drizzle, like that. That'll do the trick, like, you know. But it's like edge of the seat stuff, and it's so exciting, like, you know. So yeah, I kind of missed the promoting, but I think I'll get back into promoting again, because I kind of gave it up too early when I had a lot of good bands at the time, but I kind of went into the management thing. Anyway, carry on. Sorry.
Well, no, I'm still going through it a wee bit, because we do a big show every couple of months where we live stream from a venue. Obviously, no audience is allowed these days, but we've got a venue, sort of good technology, so it looks and sounds amazing. But it's expensive to hire because we've got sound engineers, lighting engineers. Yeah. And we've just got to kind of hope that people that are tuned in donate, because I didn't want to put a paywall up, because so many people are struggling just now that I just want it to be free for everyone to watch. But then you've just got to hope that people enjoy it so much that they stick a donation in. So I still have sweaty palm syndrome every couple of months. And then after, you're like, I'm not doing this again. But then, of course, after a couple of weeks, you're like, right, when's the next one? Because it is addictive, man. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah. You know what? You actually said that before me, right? I mean, I've promoted thousands of bands, right? And many of the bands have been into drugs and that. But I've never done drugs of any description at all, which is really weird. I mean, I like to drink the wine, and I used to drink loads of brandy, but I never drink brandy now. But I've never done drugs. But I think the closest addiction I've got would be promoting gigs, because the whole buzz of, right, you book the band, you book the venue, you promote the gig, you open the doors, your PA's getting built, the stage is there, this, that, and your excitement is, who's going to come? Is anybody going to come? And when I did the big festival in Bangkok with Oasis and Placebo and Snow Patrol and Franz Ferdinand and all that, it was like, who's going to come? If nobody comes, I used to have nightmares about this big empty stadium with nobody there.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, if nobody comes, it's just going to be so embarrassing. I'll kill myself or something, you know. But thankfully,
and then you get that moment where people do turn up, and there's about
it's like there's
a wee 10, 20-minute period where everything's right with the world, but then you've usually got to...
it's great.
Then the end of the night, you've usually got to... There's a drama usually at the end of the night, and then, for me as well, I've usually got PAs and back line to take back the next day with a hangover, and then... But there is that moment, there's that beautiful moment where everything clicks, and it's worth it. It's worth all the hassle.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. And you go about chanting that mantra from that film that Kevin Costner was in. If you build it, they will come. You know, it's like, come on, fucking hell. Yeah, believe that.
Sometimes they don't come, though. Sometimes they don't come, or not enough people come. We've got who's tuned in. We've got Lou is Yas. Can't wait for this. Got my tea and my cheese and onion McCoy's ready. Good stuff. Wise choice of crisp.
I like them. Wise choice of crisp. Yeah.
Alan Rorison's in the house. Paul's in the house. Lee says been enjoying the recent Placebo Story series for Black Market Music Anniversary. Yeah, they've been brilliant. Yeah. You can see them on YouTube.
That was a good album, that, yeah. It's good times. Yeah, good times.
Lou says, last time I seen Placebo was at the SCCC for the 20th birthday party tour. They haven't lost that emo charm they had for me as a teen. I still love them as much today as I did then. Well, that seems to be the case. I mean, their fans have got stronger rather than disappeared like a lot of bands of that era.
Yeah, it's really weird. I mean, the last time I saw Placebo was in Milan about 2 years ago. And there's about 20,000 there. And I always walk right round the crowd and up to the top, around the bottom, round the sides, and hear what it sounds like. And I can listen to what people are saying and, all that. And the crowd, it always averages between about 16 and 60 or 70 or something. I'm not joking. There's so many young people and so many older people. So we're kind of what you call an underground band. We hardly get any radio play, TV play, any press or anything like that. But we sell tickets and we sell albums, so that's all that matters.
Absolutely, mate. We've got Area saying, first gig I ever went to was Placebo at Corn Exchange when I was 14. There was a live video of someone walking about the streets while the gig was on. Proper class-like, never ever forget it. Chuffed to be listening to you.
What's that, the Cambridge Corn Exchange?
No, I think it's out to be Edinburgh Corn Exchange.
Oh, right, okay. I didn't think it was at that one, no. But no, it's great. It's really good when people remember gigs, because it's weird. I think Placebo played about 1,400 shows, and I must have been to maybe, say, 400 or something, because you can't go every show, But, and I really mean it hand on heart. Every time I go to see them, I still think, wow, they're like one of the best bands in the world. And it's really amazing to get that buzz, because, it's a great feeling, because it'd be bad to just be going through the motions. But like you said, the last gig in Milan, and the one before that was, I can't remember what that was. I think it was the one they did for the Cure thing they did at the Royal Festival Hall, when Robert Smith curated the thing, and I went to that. That was awesome as well. So yeah, it's good. It's good to still be sort of really connected and feel the passion. If you've not got the passion, you can't do it,
We've got a legend in the house, Gary Robertson, who says just
Gary, hey, what a boy he is.
And incredible. Shouts to Gary. Hope he's all well, boys. Great to see the Schemers on general release. And it's out.
Is that Gary from Dundee? Is that Gary?
That's Gary. Dundee? That is indeed, man. That is Gary.
Well, he is basically my inspiration. I met him first time about 5 years ago. We went to this Mexican place in Dundee, and we had a chat, and he was telling me about the stuff that he'd written and the plays he'd done and the stuff he was doing. And he's a very kind of humble sort of guy, but kind of gave me the inspiration that I thought, oh, maybe I could write a movie, And so I still see Gary occasionally, but absolute legend. And I saw the interview you did with him actually earlier today. I watched it, and he's brilliant, like, you know, superb.
He's an absolute legend.
He should do adverts for gin, and he would make a fortune. Gin, all sorts of gin, and drinking gin from a goldfish bowl with all sorts of berries in it. I've no idea how he does it, and he's so fit as well. So crazy.
Yeah, no, like gin makes you walk up mountains. One of those kind of adverts. Or just get or a gin company to promote sponsor his lockdown Friday shows. That would be good
because how anybody could have a few gins of an evening. And have you seen him when he does that stuff to Alexa, when he does the you know, Alexa, play The Cure or whatever, for fuck's sake, or, you know, whatever. And then the next day you'll be 20-mile run up Glencoe or something. You think, it's just like I didn't get that at all, like, you know. But there you go.
Yeah, I think you've heard it here first. Gin companies go and get Gary, or Alexa. Maybe Alexa could sponsor Gary, but they need to get. I think they need to get a new Dundee.
Alexa, play Pete and Diesel. Alexa, play The Cundies. The Cundies isn't on Amazon, Gary. The Cundies isn't on Amazon. Oh, for fuck's sake. You know. Sorry, excuse my language, but it is funny.
That's all right. You can swear, man. You're all right. You're all right here.
No, it's really funny because I wake up in Bangkok sometime about 7 o'clock in the morning, and I'll flick through Facebook and it's like Gary on live. And I think, oh, fuck, here we go. Like, and it's just like, it's like amazing, like, you know. It's just cracks.
How long have you been in Bangkok for?
17 years.
Wow. So the film, it said that you went, was it 20 years in London? Or was it, because I've seen at the end, it says you moved down.
Oh, we did. I went to London in 1985 and left in 2004. So it was 19 years in London. And I stayed every place. Chingford, Walthamstow, Wimbledon, Leighton, King's Cross, you know, Kilburn. I was every place in London. It was amazing. In fact, the guy in the next street to me was Donald Nielsen, Dennis Nielsen, or whatever, the mass murderer. So I'm glad I dodged him, like, you know. But anyway, so London was good. It was a good crack. Yeah.
Placebo supporting Prodigy on Glasgow Green was dynamite. That sounds amazing.
That was great. We had Primal Scream on that day as well, and it was actually me at Booked Up. We had it was Placebo. It was Prodigy, Primal Scream, Placebo, the 3 Ps, and it was at Glasgow Green. And there was some nutcase was running about with a hypodermic needle, trying to inject people. I remember that. But anyway, it was a good. It was a good.
I hope that wasn't John McLean. He was there. I don't know. Trace him to the scene of the crime.
I don't know John McLean. I know the name, but I don't actually know the person.
He's the lead singer of Colonel Mustard and the Dijon 5.
Oh, that's a great name, the Dijon. I like that. A superb name that is. I might need to trademark that. It's good. But yeah, that was a good gig. I remember that well. Yeah.
We got Mark. You could really wear out the name drop button on this show. Well, do you know what? We'll just play it once. We'll play it once, and then that's it.
The name drop. You call that radio?
That's the name drop button. We've done it once. That'll be it. That's enough name drop. The button's been used, so we can name drop as much as we want for the rest of the show. Kyle King says, big ups. Hope I've not missed much. No, but get the bus to YouTube to watch the rest of the show. If you're on YouTube already, you're fine then. Was that the same year as Marilyn Manson, Slipknot and Eminem, or was that the following year? Well, I was at Marilyn Manson, Slipknot and Eminem, but it was I couldn't. I only went for one day. So I'm assuming that would have been either the different day or maybe the following year.
Like that, I think it was the following year because that gig, I did that with I think it was Regular Music, and I think that was the first thing that on Glasgow Green. It was only one day that I was involved in anything, but and I think it was only one day. Then after that, I never did anything in Scotland again. Actually, to be honest, that was my final foray into promotions, and I stuck to the management after that.
We've got a message. Far can I watch Schemers? Well, it's as far as I know, it's at Amazon. And also, Lee Boyce was asking if he can buy a DVD. Yes, you can buy a DVD. So let's just get the plug out there for that. So Amazon, iTunes, and you can get the DVD for Amazon as well. Is that all right?
Yeah, it's on loads of things. Yeah, it's on all the usual platforms apart from Netflix, I think, at the minute. But we're doing the worldwide stuff later. This is just the UK and Ireland, or ERA as I prefer to call it, which sounds quite nice.
Kyle King says it was a Saturday in 2001. He was there, so there you go, 2001. And
Was it
Gary
a
says
tent? Was it a tent?
it was in the tent. And Gary says,
Yeah.
seriously, thanks for the kind words, Dave. I can listen to you for hours. The stories are incredible and true. Well done, Mark. Great to hear you both. Great to hear you, Gary. And he's confirmed that he's banned for Alexa. So that's why we've not seen Gary shouting Alexa that much
Alexa!
these days.
It's fucking hilarious.
Okay, we're watching the film tonight. Yeah, good stuff. Everyone should watch the film. There's some great stuff in it, man. And shout outs to the actors as well. I think the
they're
actors
good,
did a
aren't
great job. And it's
Yeah,
to
very
see,
good.
isn't
Yeah.
it Beat Generator and all that in there.
Oh, it's superb. Yeah, John Cruikshank, the boy that runs it. He was amazing. We filmed, we actually filmed quite a lot of stuff there, but a lot of stuff never get used. But he's a really top guy. And it makes me feel really sad. Every time he puts up an advert for a new gig, and a new gig and a new gig, they always get delayed and delayed and delayed. And he's such a music enthusiast and such a top person. Oh, I hate to see venues like that suffer, and I really do. He's
a good boy, man. I met him and I did a gig supporting the Mouse outfit about 2 years ago or something.
That's a good name.
The Mouse outfit, yeah. Hip hop band for Manchester, kind of sort of funky soul, jazzy hip hop, kind of mellow stuff with some live band members and live musicians and live rappers on it. Great band.
Yeah, but John's good guy. Yeah, good guy.
And it was good to kind of, and also I seen like there's wee cameos from, I seen Kyle Faulkner's in there as well.
Well, Kyle, I used to manage Kyle for a couple of years, which was fantastic. And we did his last album on Riverman Records, No Thank You, which is, I mean, honest to God, how that wasn't a smash hit is beyond me. We had about 40 reviews, and they're all 9 out of 10, 4 out of 5s. Everybody loved it, but we got in the top 40, which was good. And I was still big mates with Kyle, but my good mate Alan McGee now manages Kyle. So, hopefully the next album we'll see him get right to the top of the pile, because he's just a lovely, lovely guy. It's tremendous.
Yeah, I was my band supported Kyle's band a couple of years ago as well.
What, The View?
No. Kyle Faulkner and his band kind of thing.
Oh,
the full band.
I like the one that I put together with a Chinese girl on the strings.
Yeah,
that one. Oh, right. Did you? Where was that?
Brown Bear.
Oh, I missed that one. Yeah.
It was a good one.
Yeah, they're good. Yeah, they are good. Very, very, very good. Yeah. He's a top guy. Hilarious. He should be a stand-up comedian. He should really be a stand-up comedian. You've got to get him on your show.
Yeah, man. Well, he's welcome anytime, man. He's welcome. I think he's doing the, because I know that he was on Wallace's show. They run about the same time as you were on the show, so I think maybe it's worth an ask anyway. And but we just wanted to talk a little bit about the writing process, because obviously you're writing it and you're directing it. So how difficult is it to try and capture, your youth in words and dialogue and stuff like that?
Well, it's really easy, because basically, if you think of yourself, I mean, how old are you? About 30 or something, right? Like pretty young.
I'll take 30.
that. No, okay. Well, you just think back to what you were doing when you were 20 or whatever, right? So, I mean, you can remember everything. You're at a club, you're at a bar, you're at a disco, you're at a party, you're whatever. You remember the girl you talked to, the guy you talked to, the fight you got into, the situation you were in, the people you owed money to, the people you were hassling. You remember all the dialogue. It's basically memory. So I think if you're writing a story from scratch and you've never lived it, that's when you've got the writer's block thing, right? But when you're just saying, right, oh, remember that. That's it. I mean, it's so easy, isn't it? Because it's just memory. That's it.
And it's how big is it before you have to edit it down? Because obviously there's only so much you can fit into 90 minutes or whatever.
Yeah, the guy who did the edit, Khaled Spiewak, who is fantastic. This guy, that the director of photography guy we had, Alan McLaughlin, suggested we get this editor in. Oh, it was a long process, like, and we had so much filming. We had 2 shoots on the movie, 3 shoots on the movie. We had to ditch a lot of stuff. And this guy, Carl, came in and he did an amazing job at editing it all together to make it like, like a no bad wee movie, like, so it's like all credit to him, really. And it's like they always say, it's in the edit. I always used to hear that expression, it's in the edit, but it is in the edit, to be honest with you,
We've got Angela saying, Glasgow Green gig was awesome, almost got crushed to death watching The Prodigy. That tended to happen at the Glasgow Green gigs, I think everyone got carried away. And we've got Kyle who sent in his ticket. So that was 25th of August 2001. There you go.
Ah, there you go, yeah. God, it's a long time ago, eh? How time flies, eh?
It flies by. And Alan was there as well. And Paul's watching the film tonight. Brilliant stuff, man. I think you'll love it. And with obviously when you're doing the write, you've got, how long does the process? Because you said it take a while. So when did you start writing because you said that Gary kind of inspired you to do something. So how long is the process from start to finish?
It's a stupid, ridiculous story. It'll take me 1 minute to tell you. I was in Bangkok. I had the idea to write the film. I went to Koh Samui, which is an island just off Thailand. Stayed in my favourite hotel, the Hansar Hotel, room 3208. Had a balcony room. Stayed there for 14 days. Had a really religious kind of regime where I'd get up at 7 o'clock, get breakfast at 8 o'clock, 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock, I'd sit at the pool. 10 o'clock to 12 o'clock, I'd write the script. 12 o'clock to 2 o'clock, I'd go to the spa. 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock, I'd write the script. 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, I'd go to the bar. 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock, I'd get dinner. And I did that for 14 days. So I did it on my laptop. Right? Well, it was all freehand. And I just wrote it all down, all freehand. Then I did it not on my laptop, because I never had a laptop. I did it on my iPad. And the amount of times I deleted everything I'd done for the day, it was like, oh, Jesus Christ, I've just wasted the whole day, So I did it all on this iPad thing. And then that was the first draft of the script. And then I came back to London, showed it to a few people. They kind of liked it. Then I had various other co-writers. And every time you got a co-writer, they kept changing it and changing it and changing it and changing it. So eventually I ended up with what I'd written a year ago. You kind of come back to the start, and then we filmed it, basically. And then there was always changes up until the very day. You'd be at the set on the day and say, oh, that doesn't work. And people would throw in lines. Like even my brother would say, oh, let's throw in that line. I say, oh, that's good. Let's chuck that in. And then Connor would say, what about this? I say, yeah, bang that in as well. So it was all very, what's the word? Brazilian style, free flow, just whatever. Let's see how it works. That was it.
Kyle's asking, is there any Thai artists that you'd recommend?
Oh yeah, my Thai German rapper, Alyssa Janine Woolman. Superb. She had 182,000 views on TikTok yesterday, so she's no bad, So, and she did, funnily enough, a cover with Kyle Faulkner, Love the Way You Lie, Eminem and Rihanna. But Kyle did the female part and she did the male part. It was superb. So that's my Thai artist that I've got, yeah.
We'll just put the link in the comments to Alyssa Janine.
Alyssa Janine Woolman.
Alyssa Janine.
She's on
she's on Instagram.
Riverman. Yeah, she's every place, but yeah.
So I'll put it on Instagram here. It's in the comments, guys, if you just want to check her out. I'll look forward to seeing that. That's there. We've got a question from Lou who says, did you add anything in for dramatic effect, or is it mostly true to life?
It's all pretty true to life. All the stuff about Iron Maiden is absolutely word for word true. The gig, the Jack Vittriano picture thing is a bit of a variant on a story where I did actually get offered a Jack Vittriano, but it was actually when I worked in Timex, and a guy I worked with offered me a cousin of Jack Vittriano offered me a what do you call it, a sketch of this great artist. It's going to be huge. And the guy was only 20 quid, and I says, no, I'll just have the 20 quid. So, I should have basically kept the sketch. So, but we just varied that story a little bit. But it's all pretty much true. All the gigs and situations and money problems and try to start various businesses, like
And you're more doing the catering for Iron Maiden.
Oh, fucking hell, that was unbelievable. Like, I mean, like when I turned up at the Cairn Hall that day, I'd had nightmares for about 2 weeks previous, but it being empty. And when Rod Smallwood turned up, the manager I had made, and still the manager I had made today, oh, where's the catering, mate? I went, I'm just lighting the film. Like, how do you mean? Well, the catering. I said, how do you mean catering? What are you talking about? Breakfast, lunch, dinner? I went, all right, aye, fine. And I literally had no idea what he was talking about. And I thought, he's talking about food. And then he was on about the crew. And I thought, crew? What? I should have read that contract, really. Should have had a look at that contract, And but I saw these guys standing at Samuel's, the jewellers, across from Cairn Hall. Just these four kind of wasters, kind of layabout sort of types that's doing nothing, like. And I thought, right, there's the crew. Jimmy, John, Jim, Harry, how's it going, like, and dragged them back to be the crew. And just like, and my mum got all the stuff. She had this big whiskey bottle, not that she drank it, but she had this huge whiskey bottle that she got from someplace that she was saving up for a holiday, and she put all this money in it for a holiday. And I said, Mum, I need you to come to Cairn Hall and do 30 lunches, 30 dinners, 30 breakfasts. And she says, where will I get the money? I says, that big whiskey bottle you've got, just smash it and go to Asda or something. So she did that, and she came down, she did all the catering. So that was mental, like, mad.
It's funny though, because like, obviously you're obviously winging it. You have no idea what you're doing. But do you not find that the whole music industry's winging it, that even with experience, everyone's just kind of winging it just a bit?
Of course it is. It's all an art, like, It's all a complete art. I mean, I wrote this book with a guy who interviewed me at The Guardian, a guy called Rich Pelly. So we've written this book, and I mean, I'm not doing this for a plug. It's just to say the way my life is. It's like behind a painted smile, like, It's always an act. Everything's an act. You know what I mean? You can be really depressed and pissed off, and you don't want to do nothing. But as soon as you meet the band, or you're promoting a band, or you meet the record company, or you meet whatever, you just go into this, whoa, everything's amazing, like, fantastic, like, So you're winging it all the time, really, It's a complete art.
I was reading a couple of articles about some of the bands that you ended up working with, which is incredible. It's like a who's who. I know that Lou, who's tuned in, is very excited about the fact that you worked with Pearl Jam. Is that true or false?
No, we only did Pearl Jam twice, I think. I think we certainly did them at University of London Union. And I think we did them at the Borderline, because that was our first gig. So if we did them at the Borderline, we must have done them at ULU, because that was a step up. So ULU was 1,200 capacity. And we sold that gig out, obviously. And the agent for Pearl Jam is now the agent for Placebo, and he's been the agent for Placebo for 15 years, a guy called Rod McLean. And he's done like Led Zeppelin, Aerosmith, Fleetwood Mac, Kiss, Black Sabbath, Tool, Smashing Pumpkins, Rage Against the Machine, Guns N' Roses, Christina Aguilera, Shakira, and everything like that, right? So he's a big agent, and he does Placebo now. So we did Pearl Jam at ULU, and this is ages ago, like, it's 25 years ago or something. So, and the gig did great and everything like that. So I'm with Rod at the end of the gig, before he's Placebo's agent, obviously, because I'm just a promoter, a young promoter. And I said, so what's the crack then, Rod? We're definitely moving them up. It's got to be Story or Brixton Academy or something like that. And he goes, yeah, we'll definitely move them up, but you're not promoting the gig. I says, why is that? He says, because I'm promoting the gig. I said, but you're an agent. You're not a promoter. He says, well, I'm changing my mind for this one, because they're going to be huge. I said, well, what's the excuse? Did we do a bad job? And he went, the champagne wasn't chilled enough. Fucking hell. So anyhow, when Placebo were looking for a new agent after we got rid of the last agent we had, and I thought, you know what, because Rod, we used to do loads of bands with Rod, like Tool and Smashing Pumpkins and Green Day and Weezer, and just loads of bands, loads. And he's such a tough agent, and I thought, he's got to be our agent, because if he's on your side, he's like an animal, like, And he used to phone me up in Thailand every day, and because loads of people want to be the agent for Placebo, and he just sent me texts, I kill for this band, you know, I'd die for this band. And I thought, this guy's mental. So anyhow, that's my connection with Pearl Jam. We just did them the once, like, you know, but, well, twice, I think, because we must have done that at the Borderline, although I didn't remember that. But I mean, we certainly did University of London Union, yeah.
And shout outs to Emma, your publicist of Strike Media, is that right?
She's
done
awesome.
a great job.
Honestly, she's got me I mean, honest to God, I mean, see, I'm a very quiet person, right? Really, really quiet. And see, when did I start in the music business? About 1984, or 1985. And I've been asked to do interviews like, 100 times on bands that I've worked with about, you know, behind the scenes and this, that, and blah, blah, blah. But I've never kind of been one to blow my own trumpet. But on the movie thing, nobody else will do any interviews. So I've kind of had to step up to the mark and do interviews. And it's not really my style because I'm not very good at it. But Emma's been really good. She's kind of hooked me up with loads of stuff. She's great.
Yeah, sure. You're doing great, man. You're a natural at it. I would say you should do more.
Oh, cheers, mate.
We've got also, what about this Nirvana and playing five-a-sides with the Chippendale story?
Oh, well, true? I think, yeah, well, it's, to a certain extent, we were in Nottingham and we did play Rock City and we did meet. See, you got to remember at that time there was a lot of Chippendales bands going around. There was, you know, it's like ABBA, it's like Beyond Again and all these, but you know, there was umpteen male strippers, like, you know. So whether it was the actual Chippendales, well, I think it was. And Nirvana had this amazing tour manager called Alec McLeod, who was superb, the Scottish guy from Inverness. And we were all in a bar someplace. And the idea was floated, let's have a game of football, right? Let's have a game of football. Now, whether it was jumpers for goalposts and referee and five-a-side for an hour, I mean, fuck knows, no idea. But it was floated. But the journalist that got the story kind of made it probably a bit bigger than it was. But it was certainly an idea. But I certainly didn't see any, rampaging runs up the right wing from Kurt or defensive headers from Chris Novoselic or midfield power play from Dave Grohl, like, you know. But it was certainly floated about at the time, you know. Anyway, there you go.
Amazing stuff, man. Pixie Brun says, "Hey Mark, really enjoying this interview. David is a top guest, very interesting and engaging. Aye, off a bra." And Sammy B is, if anyone doesn't know, Sammy B will be co-hosting this show on Saturday night as we're doing our alternative burn supper that we've done every year for the last 10 or so years. And it's 7 o'clock. So because it's an alternative burns, we're always about a week behind. So you can tune in 7 o'clock here to check that out. Gary's added that he loves hearing about the writing process. I still write longhand as well, something therapeutic about it.
Yeah, he does it, eh? He kind of writes in front of the fire. He's got this nice fire. It's like very kind of Robert Burns-esque. Like he's probably got a quill and kind of
Alexa, gaze a quill. Yeah, I find writing lyrics, man. I still write with a pen and a pad. That just
it's good that yeah.
For some reason, it feels like someone else is writing it for me. It just for when I type it up, I just seem to get takes me longer. But I can
look at this.
Is your handwriting as good as mine?
That's me. I write everything down all the time, like, you know. But I've got really bad handwriting. Sometimes I write something and go, Jesus, I knew that was good. What was it, like, you know? And I'll be analysing it for magnifying glass and oh yeah, I've got it now. Like, yeah, that was actually quite funny. So yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm starting to make the jump to, so I write still write in the notepad, but then I put it on, I type it up on a computer and then do a wee bit of editing because there is an extra bit of freedom. You can sometimes see mistakes or change little words, but the actual, to write things down, man, is definitely, I'm still a pen and a pad guy, completely, 100%.
Yeah, because it's good for your head as well, because when this lockdown started and I was going a bit insane about a year ago, I kind of got this downloaded a book called The Little Book of Calm. It was fantastic. I would say it basically saved my life. This guy, Dr. Aaron Balak, or somebody his name is, and what he said was every day, write, like when you get up, when you wake up, write down what's bothering you. Write it down, like, you know. And since I did that, I feel great, you know. It's amazing. You can write all sorts of shit, like, you know. And then it's out your system, like, you know. So I think writing things is good.
It's a therapeutic process, and I'd recommend it anyone. Even if you're not thinking about writing a song or a book, just write it down, and suddenly the weight of whatever you've written down just leaves your shoulders and 100%. Goes somewhere else.
Yeah, 100% agree. Totally agree with you there. Yeah, 100%. I've done that every day since about, well, certainly for the last year, since this COVID shit started happening, you know?
Danny is a legend. He's commented, really enjoyed the film last night. What gigs still stand out to this day from Dundee? Many friends mentioned the two-tone tour when it came to Scotland in '79.
Well, I never really did that many gigs in Dundee, maybe 15 or 20 or something. So, and they were never probably well, obviously Iron Maiden was quite a big gig, but I tell you what, the best gig I ever did in Dundee was Kyle Faulkner's album launch when we played the Church or someplace in Dundee called the Church or something. And that to me was not a great gig. And Placebo, when they played the Caird Hall, was awesome because they always have a huge production, Placebo. That was brilliant. And my first ever band that I promoted in Dundee was the only ones who I still love, who are still going, actually. Peter Perrott, amazingly, he's still going. Another Girl on Another Planet and all that stuff. So I just love gigs. Like, I mean, you know, gigs are gigs, like, you know. And
It was, a whole host of those early gigs, obviously, were you were still learning your trade and stuff like that. But there was some really big names that went on to great things. There was that bit where you're haggling over Simple Minds for 15 quid.
No, I remember that. The agent was a guy called George Duffin, who had an agency in Edinburgh, I think it was, called Cosmos. He died actually maybe 18 months, 2 years ago, and we had who was it we had for the main band? Ultravox. Yeah, when they had John Fox was the singer, not Midgear, and we had Ultravox. He says, "Oh, I've got this band. They're really good. They're going to be huge. Like, blah, blah. You're usually going to be huge. Everybody's going to be huge, like, you know, obviously." And they're called Simple Minds, and I thought, "Oh, that's an unusual name." And what are you looking for? And he says, "Oh, 30. I said, "Can I do that?" "Oh, can you do 15? I know, 15, and then 6 cans of Skol or 6 cans of Stella or something like, you know. I went, yeah, fine. And then, of course, they came and played, and they had Life in a Day and Chelsea Girl and all that sort of stuff. And it was like, wow, they're absolutely awesome, like, you know. So yeah, that was tremendous. That was a really good little double bill, you know.
What was the kind of, is there the pros and cons to, because obviously in the video it's like, it's a reminder of how it used to be, having to go to a phone box and phone the guy.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I was wondering, is obviously, it would have been a nightmare trying to just even get in contact with a band if you're trying to get hold of a Glasgow band for Dundee, getting that phone number, getting that fax address or wherever you're contacting people. But was there also maybe a positive that maybe perhaps when Simple Minds are getting offered the 15 quid for Dundee, it's quite hard to find someone else who could better that price or whatever, because literally someone has found the magic number, they have contacted you, so maybe you've just got to take what's on the table at that time.
Well, it's just like, I mean, they at that time would be a very young band, right? So Ultravox would be quite established and pretty cool. So if their agent is saying to them, "Oh, I've got you this gig in Dundee with Ultravox," which was similar sort of music at the time, they'd say, yeah, just get it, like, yeah, it's fantastic, like, yeah, fine. So, I mean, it's just all about your agent connections and getting offered the bands. But, I mean, I often think, just imagine, like, 250 years ago, like, you're in Vienna or Salzburg or Munich or something, and you hear on the grapevine, there's this guy called Mozart. You go, Mozart, I've heard of him, like, yeah, he's really good, like, you know. We'll need to put in an offer, so you write it down, and it goes on a carrier pigeon to all the way to London or to his manager or something, and you're asking for €1,000 or whatever, and the pigeon comes back, go back and forward for fucking ages, like, you know, like, until you get the deal done. So yeah, but now it's easy. It's just like it's just like an email, boom. But then it progressed from sort of pigeon post to faxes, and no letters. You used to have to write your offer in a letter, and then the agent would come back with another letter, so you go back and forward, like, you know. Then it was a fax, back and forward. Then it was a phone call, you know. But now it's just like email, and the agent will say, you know, fuck off or whatever, and then you come back with another, you know, offer, and it just goes. It's quick. But in the old days, it must have been like ridiculous trying to book a tour. Can you imagine trying to book a tour for Mozart or something?
It's impossible to book a tour even now, man. I mean, it's like I booked a European tour. It's just before lockdown began, so obviously that was a waste of time. But it's so difficult just trying to get, you know, the different cities at the same time to agree to something and it all come together.
Of course, yeah,
So it's,
exactly.
Yeah,
It's a
so
nightmare.
it's a total art, and it's people. You're better off getting someone who does it as a full-time job because they've got all the contacts and they know what will work and what won't. So do you think? So obviously, I mean, imagine if you're doing the letters or coming back and you're like, "Oh, that offer's close enough." Do you know what? We'll just take it. While if it was an email, you might ask for that extra 4 cans of Skol. While if it's a letter, you're just like, "Oh, you know what? That's close enough." I'm not going back and forth again.
Yeah, it's really weird. I've been in Rod McSwain's office in London, who, as I told you, is our agent, and he was. I was in his office one day, and he had this phone call from a guy in Istanbul about Christina Aguilera, and he put it on speaker, and the guy goes, and Rod's going, listen, and the guy goes, 600 grand, and Rod doesn't say nothing, and the guy goes, hello, 700. Hello. And Rod's just like saying nothing, like, you know. And it goes up to 1 million, like before Rod says, nah, you'll need to get more. I mean, it's just a genius, you know what I mean, at getting money up. So if you've got a good agent, you know, and it just went up to a ridiculous amount of money. But that old saying, less is more, you know, the less you say, the more you get, you know. So if you've got a great agent, like we've got a great agent for Placebo, you know, he just gets us fantastic money because he just knows how to work it. It's a skill. It's a skill in itself, like, you know. I mean, generally speaking, if you're a promoter, you don't particularly like agents, right? Although you got on good with some agents because they try to screw you for money if you're a promoter. But if you're a manager and you've got an amazing agent, it's like awesome. You think, wow, that's fantastic. Go on yourself, son, you know. So it's good.
They know the difference between asking for too much.
Exactly.
Because a bad agent is someone who's just getting greedy and asking for something that isn't financially possible. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. I mean, there was this gig we did in Portugal years ago, and the guy says, he says, I think it was Creamfields or something. He says, 100 grand, that's our last offer. And Rod just laughed, like, you know. And then it just went up and up and up and up until it was like ridiculous, like, you know. But it's really funny when somebody says, that's our last offer. And you say that to somebody like our agent, Rod, and he just like laughs his head off and says, let's see how far we could go with this, like, you know. But it's good fun, like, you know. Yeah.
Couple last questions before you go, David. We've got Colette, legend. Colette says, Mark, there's a chap Ken Byron Mansella from New York. He had his own rock TV shows twice a week. He was Kurt Cobain. Kurt
Cobain's what?
I don't know. Oh no, best friend. Kurt Cobain's best friend, apparently. Sorry.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't know really because I only knew Kurt through gigs, to be honest with you. So I wouldn't know his American friends and that. But no idea about that.
What was Kurt like anyway, man? Was he a good guy?
Yeah, it's like every time anybody asks me that, they always say Dave Grohl, nicest man in rock and all that, which he is. He's hilarious, right? You know. But all the Nirvana guys, Chris Novoselic and Kurt Cobain, were all funny and hilarious and engaging and good heart and good spirit and just nice, very, very, very nice people. That's all I could say, really. As simple as that, really.
And I've got Lou says, I used to work in an Indian restaurant where the owner was friends with the guys from Simple Minds. I had dinner and drinks with them a few times and I didn't have a clue who they were at the time. Well, actually, shouts to Kenny Hislop, who is drummer for Simple Minds. He's just did a song with Leslie to save Carlton Studios. They've just made a wee song.
Oh, you've heard Carlton Studios, yeah.
Yeah, we're trying to save Carlton Studios just now. We're making we filmed a wee documentary for them. They should be on You Call That Radio next week. I'm just trying to find time to finish the edit on it. But yeah, it's an amazing studio and they're struggling just now. So both Carlton Studios and Sonny Govan are both crowdfunders. So if anyone's watching and they can afford to chip in a wee $5 or a $10, then it's accepted because we really do need to look after the nucleus of our music system right now so that we've got
the music.
Good times to go back to.
It's all knackered just now, isn't it? I mean, everything, theatre, music, drama, ballet, classical, whatever, you know, all forms of entertainment are zero now, you know. And everybody's so pissed off and depressed and that. You just got to let off steam, you know, and when it comes back, it'll come back really strong. So, You just got to keep these studios going, these venues going. There's so many of my friends have got venues and bars and clubs and various promoter friends, well, smaller promoters, but you know, a lot of bigger promoters struggling as well. Because there's no help from anybody, like, you know, and even, I mean, I used to get a bit annoyed at how much money agents would make, but even agents aren't making any money now, you know. So agents, promoters, venue owners, everything, you know, just absolutely knackered, like, you know. So it's very difficult, but all things will pass, you know. We'll come again, you know.
We'll be back. And
We'll be
just to
back.
wrap up one more time, this is Schemers is here. I'll move it the way.
No, it looks good by you there, yeah.
This is the film. Go and check it out. And just that was one of our friends was in Poland asking. So it's only available in the UK and Ireland just now. Is that right? And
Yeah, just now. Yeah,
But
but
you
we've
could probably
got.
order the DVD from. You could probably order the DVD to Poland.
Yeah, you can order that, but it'll be going out worldwide live streaming in about 2 months. We've done loads of deals with loads of people, like, you know. So yeah, it'll be America, you know, Canada, New Zealand, Australia. It's out in Russia. It's been out in Russia for a while. China, all that. So it's good. It's going very well. Very, very, very happy with it. Yeah.
Well, congratulations, David. I really enjoyed the film. If you're watching this in the UK and Ireland, you can watch it on Amazon Prime and iTunes tonight or right now. After this, we're back at 5 o'clock with a special secret guest who we can't announce until his management is okayed for them to speak to us. But they just phoned me just as we went live, so I'm going to phone back and confirm that. But I think we've got a special at 5. And then at 7 o'clock tonight, we have the amazing Alba Enid Garcia Rivas, who's an HBO Max director. She's worked with Tim Burton, Jim Henson, Celebrity Deathmatch, all sorts of amazing stuff. She'll be live from New York at 7, so it's quite a busy day we've got, man. David, I know you've got a busy week with everything you're doing, so I really appreciate you take the time to speak to us today about your film and about your history, and it'd be great to chat to you another time about it all. Good luck with the film.
Yeah, well, the only thing I'd say to you is I watched about 20 minutes of your stuff today, and it's really impressive. So all the little video clips and links and trailers and music, it's spot on. So good luck with your project, okay?
Well, thank you very much, man. And it wouldn't be possible were it not for the people supporting the Patreon. That's the only reason that I'm still surviving in this climate. So if you enjoy the show, a couple of £1 a month at patreon.com/you call that radio, because it's the people that are making. That's why we could get the green screen and keep making the show a bit better cameras and just keep improving the show.
Yeah, it's really good.
If you look at episode number 1, it didn't look like this in episode 1. I might have had a better haircut, but apart from that, it was worse. Thank you very much, David. Absolute pleasure
Cheers.
to speak to you. And we
Good
will
luck.
see you late. We'll see you at 5 o'clock and then 7 o'clock.
Yeah, love respecting it, I respect to the man like Mark. They love what the man talk on the radio. In case you never know. You call that radio, call that the radio. You call that radio, call that the radio. Come and say, in my name, I'll just go with the flow. In my name, I'll just go with the flow. So till you miss a mark, now go bend down low. Till you miss a mark, now go bend down low. Boom. Lot of mercy. Yo. You call that radio. You call that radio. Come and say, don't you be another man, I'll go lose your head. Say, don't you be another, me say, and lose the head. Me say, radio. Call that a radio. Straight from out of Glasgow. Straight from out of Glasgow, nice enough on the studio. Come and say, in my name, I'll just go with the flow. In my name, I'll just go with the flow. So till you miss a mark, now go bend down low. Till you miss a mark, now go bend down low. No radio. You call that the radio.
Oh, fuck.
If you don't